Well, good day. My name is Tigress, Sydney Acute McDaniel, and I am, of course, your girl, Tigress is a Verb. I thought I would go live today on Instagram. I haven't in such a long time, and especially on this particular platform of my many platforms that I like to compartmentalize, and that some of you are already aware of. Tigress is a Verb is for we can call it my more personal platform. And through this particular platform, yes, I do want to use it for my my pursuit of modeling and acting and professional dance, which is core to my training and love, aside from my absolute first love, which is science, which a lot of you know. Okay, so I decided today to come live on Instagram as opposed to going live on YouTube and posting my weekly video on YouTube exclusively, because I want you all to not only just feel comfortable to follow me, because I know I have a lot of ghost followers. And I know that we sometimes will not celebrate one another, especially when we see individuals like myself who are doers, who generally have it all together, who we feel that, it may be driven by envy, it may be driven by jealousy, it may be driven by insecurities that I may enlarge in certain people when they're trying to deal with their own insecurities and overcome certain battles. But please understand that my core is love. In fact, if I did practice any religion, it would be love at its absolute essential nature. That's what I'm about. And not only do I give love, but I need love as well. Now, I don't need fake love. I don't need just the appearance of love. I don't need just the appearance of support or fake support. I don't want that. But we need to build a community, because I intend to share all that I know. And I want to learn from you as well, because I can't possibly know everything. I may know a lot. Indeed, I do, but I cannot know everything. And I want to impact the entertainment industry as well. I would like to take my years of grit and building our record label and our modeling paradigm and the things that we've done with theatrical productions, and how we've done it completely independently. In fact, exclusively independently. I would like to share that with a lot of you who still promote this mantra of the starving artist, which is something that I have always been taught against. I've been taught to own my own talent, that I am the cash cow, that you don't become slave to the industry that makes $1 billion off of you. You claim your own rights to your own IP, your own intellectual property, your own copyrighted property, which is your talents. And I know that and that'll be a conversation for another time, where dance choreography, the choreography specifically, is not copyrightable. You can't copyright it, right? And guys and ladies, and I really want to lend support. And I don't particularly like it when people feel they're in a silo, right? They feel that they are by themselves. They feel like they must beat their head against a wall to figure it out. They feel like those of us like myself who have achieved some type of perception of success, because my definition of success is totally different from mainstream, and even different from a lot of the quote unquote motivational self-improvement gurus. Success is your impact, your positive impact on the community, your micro community, your macro community, so your immediate communities, your home, your microcosm, your macrocosm. If there is no one in your life that can say that they have learned something positive from you, you have no success. I don't care how much money you think you have. I don't care how much popularity you may have on TikTok or Facebook or on Instagram, or what is the new one, Triller, any of the social media apps, or how much popularity you have in your local school, how much you have popularity in your college setting, your workplace. Popularity is also misperceived as well, because that popularity, it may not equate to whether those people actually like you. Ooh. That popularity may not even equate to, let's say you own a business and you're popular. Your business is popular in your church. Let me be the one to pull the veil back, okay? All right. I've seen a lot of organizations, and the cycle of money, yes, that does, it is relevant, because we talk about how long a dollar stays in a community. That's a big topic, hot topic, right? Especially amongst my ethnic group, right? And as in contrast to other communities, other ethnic groups, and how it stays in their communities, right? All right. But there's also such a thing that if your only consumers are your church members, your business is not successful. Ooh. And these are loving oops. I need you to come on with me now. All right. And so what I'm getting at is that if you have had any of these thoughts, and many times you do, you're like, okay, well, I'm doing good, but now it gets to the point where I feel like I almost have to be a people pleaser to my church members to keep my business alive. And that's why you know your business is not successful, because it is completely dependent upon a certain group of people with whom you now have this social contract. And it's an unethically based social contract, because the transaction is for self-gratification or passive aggressive manipulation, like me, and I'll buy your product. If you don't treat me nicely, or if you don't kiss my ass, or if you don't come to my business launch today, then I'm not going to be a patron in your business. Well, how does that work? Because what's very interesting is that we don't have that expectation for Gucci. We don't have that expectation for Versace. Ooh. We don't have that expectation for H&M. We don't have that expectation. I'm talking about generally. Yes, we have, made our protest known, but only when they slip up, which is interesting, because immediately after they slip up, I call it immediately, because anything less than 6 months after someone has racially discriminated against you and have made it very, very clear that we don't really care what black people think, which are some of these these companies now. Too often we're a cheap date, and all they need to do is maybe give one scholarship to somebody that you don't even know, but they're black, so therefore, oh, it's fixed. They gave $1,000 scholarship to some random black person that you don't know, so it doesn't impact your direct community. It maybe minimally impacts your macrocosm. But this is a company that in this industry makes $50 million, maybe every quarter before a pandemic. So what I'm asking you and beseeching you and lovingly encouraging you to do is to embrace me. You keep asking for individuals who have achieved success, true success, not just the mainstream ideology for the same. And you've asked, what are the secrets to this success? How do you achieve this? And you keep looking to the individuals who teach you how to get rich quick. If you're not yet ready to engage me on Queen Get Her Done, that platform, or seek Tigress Run, which is, so Queen Get Her Done is my professional for-profit corporation. And then See Tigress Run is my professional political platform. If you are not yet ready to connect with me there, I created this platform to lessen the intimidation. Even though I think that I do a pretty good job in lessening the intimidation on the other sides. But this is what this platform is about. And so if you're my ghost follower, it doesn't help you to just, say, okay, well, I'm just going to sit back, in the shadows and hope that she says something that will benefit me. No, I need you to come forward. I want to see you. I want to embrace you. I want you to get your questions answered. And in fact, on that topic, I'm actually starting a new platform that has not ever been done before because it's time on Queen Get Her Done. So I really suggest that you follow me there. Now, that particular platform, it will be a paid event. But when you look at the details, and I can share it now with you here, what I've seen is that too often consultants or individuals who purport, which means they claim, but they have no real receipts for success. They have receipts for income, which can qualify as profits, on a financial spreadsheet, right? But they don't have success. Where is that money really coming from? And individuals like myself, experts like myself, all you have to do is show me your profit and loss statement. I can tell you if you're really in business or not. Or if you're actually just funneling all of your money into the business and you are fabricating a record of profit for your business. Few of these companies that are online purporting that they are the best consultants that you need to see, they don't have invoices for their consumers. They don't have electronic records to back it. They just have transfers, but not electronic records like that which you would get from maybe Square Up, which actually specifies. Square is so much more ethically and integriously driven because you can't fudge it. They're watching everything. I've been with Square for over, good gracious, like 15 years or so. They watch all the transactions. The transactions they monitor these things. They can't just be random transfers into your account. None of that stuff. None of it counts. Do you have actual products? Do you have shipping costs Do you have shipping history? Do you have a shipping account with an actual shipper? So I could go into all that detail. I'm not going to do that today. But trust me, all it would take me is a good 30 minutes with any purported businesses' accounting records. And the laugh is not to say that I'm doing this condescendingly. Please understand. What I am instead doing is I'm giving you an opportunity to come out of the shadows and thrive. You don't have to depend on those individuals. And nor is it somehow going to make my head inflated if you come to individuals like myself who are actually going to give you truth. They're not going to piecemeal it to you. They're going to give you the truth. And they're going to set you up for true succession. And as a scientist, I'm talking about scientific succession, by which you grow and get better and better over time. Not business succession, which is an end. That's the estate planning, the winding up, probate. I'm also coming to you, so it's twofold. So the specificity over there, Queen Get Her Done, and it's just Queen Get Her Done. QUEENGETERDONE. Go on over there. What's going to happen is it will be a question and answer session. There will be no lecture. There are a lot of people who say, well, oh my gosh, she can do lectures, she can teach, she's at the doctoral level, so she would talk if she does a workshop. Anyone who has ever been to any one of my workshops knows that I don't like the workshop format, the traditional one. What are your questions? I can talk till I'm blue in the face, but is it relevant? And I'm not for talking if it's not relevant. The people that know me, I don't pick up my phone unless it is what are we doing? Why do I need to be on the phone with you? What do we do? Is it relevant? And I mean that in the most loving way. For both of us. For all of us. If we're getting on the phone, if we're having a meeting, what are we talking about? If we're just talking just to be talking, well, let's go eat or something, friend. Let's make this enjoyable. I don't want to sit on this phone and just be talking for nothing. Okay. Alrighty. Sorry, that gets under my skin, friends. You got to understand, okay? So, equally, I used to take great issue, even though I understand the traditional format of academia and continued learning. But it's funny how they just continue to talk at you, but they don't have a question and answer period. Think about it. Any college that you've attended, any form of school that you've attended, even high school, very seldom do they give you a question and answer period, a dedicated time frame. And only those teachers who did, and there were teachers in my life who did, and they were few and far between, but those were the most impactful teachers for me, because everyone knows who's ever had me in their class. And they say it, in fact, it has become the perception of me, quote unquote, or it's been said about me, even on the campus to this day. Excuse me. That Tigress makes a teacher teach. Oop. Well, it's my money. I refused a lot of scholarships. Some of y'all gonna be like, what is she talking about? Why would she refuse? That's Tigress. Why would she refuse? I refused them because I didn't want anyone to ever have any way, shape, or form to have any control over me. I was taught this very young. How are you gonna be free if you are tied to the status quo? Oh, it's helped me out a lot, friends. Some of you know exactly what I'm talking about because you've had to play so many step and fetch games. I don't step and fetch. I don't code switch. And it's because of freedoms that are put in place by the fact that I don't accept those things. And if I do accept any form of payment, there must be a written agreement to go along with it. In fact, I'm so serious about the relationships that I build with people that I have a performance contract for all of my clients. Some of my clients can get online and they can tell you live that if they do not follow their steps, because this is not just a one-woman show. I'm not going to be your consultant. You're just going to look at me and you expect me to just talk indefinitely. Like it just ad infinitum. Really? You just want me to sit here and just talk? Oh, no, friend. Oh, no. There's nothing productive about that. And if I'm going to invest my time in you, because my time is the most valuable, I don't care how much you're willing to pay. I need to know what your expectations are going to be of me. Then I need to communicate then what my expectations of you shall be. This is why if you don't have a performance contract with a consultant who claims that they're a consultant, or your coach in the form of life coach, even your psychiatrist, you've noticed even psychiatrists, they have task, a plan for you. In effect, that is a performance contract. Now, for me, we explicitly have it signed. And the laugh is because you're not going to waste my time. You're not going to get to this point and then say, okay, well, I didn't do any of the things that you told me to do, but I still need your help. Oh, no. Oh, no. No. Because that is the effect of enabling someone to not be better, to not grow. If you're familiar with it, so my business telephone number is 1-833-4-GO-GROW. So if you have no intentions to grow, then you know what? Don't connect with me, because it will be very uncomfortable for you. And I mean that laugh again in the most loving way possible. But if you intend to grow and you're tired of beating your head up against a wall and you want someone to just give me the information. I have to most of you have had to sit through umpteen workshops to get one answer that you could have gotten in the first workshop if they had only had a question and answer period, and a serious one. Not one where they just kind of flagrantly tout their academia, because that's what it turns into. I've been to those type of workshops where you ask them a question, they never really answer the question, and then they go back to listing off their resume, their qualifications. Okay, okay. I know this but I asked you this, and so you sit in there, and some of you are very polite about it. Me, I probably have left at this point. I say, okay, well, this has been wonderful. Thank you, because I'm a lady. I'm a lady. So I'm going to say, this has been wonderful. I just wanted to let you know that I have to excuse myself from this meeting. And I've done it. Some of you, even now at this moment, you're probably thinking to yourself, oh my God, I remember when she was at such and such. And she got up or she excused herself. She, asked for attention, raised her hand type of thing. And she does exactly what, yes, I do, friends. Because I'm not sitting in anybody else's shit show. I don't sit at mine. I don't attend my own shit shows. Why would I attend someone else's? And this is what I'm encouraging you to do, is to not attend all the shit shows. And if you're going to attend the shit shows, come to my show. This is the show that we literally can get some shit done and not just see shit. If you want to see shit and just smell shit and just, all right, well, we're not going to have any type of productive shit at all, then, attend that shit show. But if you want to truly be the doer that you aspire to be, you can't hang around pretenders. There are so many pretenders who pretend to do. And it's easy to create a facade, especially online. That's super easy to create a facade of doing. Were they approved for a PPP loan? Were they approved for the SBA loan? Were they approved for the, excuse me, the PPP forgiveness application? I can say, thankfully, I've been there, done that. No further documentation was required of me. Ooh. Ooh. That deserved 2 oops. Actually, deserved 3. Ooh. But you're chasing behind individuals who haven't even gotten the first PPP loan, but they come to you, or you've attended their workshops, and now you're receiving phone calls about some type of fraudulent scam that they wish you to join them in to defraud the federal government and SBA to get these loans. Ooh. Ooh. I've seen this and heard this at least, let's see, I would say about 4 times in the last month alone. So basically what I'm going to do, I had the 10-minute rise and grind, and then I changed it, and I believe in change. I don't believe in putting on a front. If something I feel like needs to be changed, and I'm a scientist, so again, we grow forward or we fail forward if if it's a form of colloquial failure, it's a social definition of failure. So I grow forward. So if I'm noticing, and I'm doing this intentionally, I start something, and you would hope that as you experience and you continue this process, the development thereof, of whatever your platform is, that you will see ways to improve upon it. If you don't, then come on, friends. All right. So then I changed it to the, what was it? No, initially it was a 3-minute rise and grind. And then to the 10-minute rise and grind. All right. And initially I think I had it as a 9-minute rise and grind, and that was because I have 9 concepts. So I was trying to, make it thematic, if you will. Okay. And I wanted those things. So I did that initially, and those will appear to be a talking at you. And yet I continue to iterate that I'm not. But I wanted to make sure that if you were going to ever come to seek my services or attend any of my functions, that there will always be this introductory series, if you will. And that's exactly what it is. It's an introductory series on starting a business and all the basal facets for that business. Okay. And my trademark is that busy ain't business. All right. So you see a lot of busy people, but they're not conducting business. Okay. So basically what I'm getting at here is that instead of that continuing that platform, which I had considered doing, I didn't want to just keep talking on a random, not so much, how should I say this? Because it's not random subject matter when it comes from me. But it is random when if I'm speaking to the masses that I don't know who's following me and I don't know their needs. But if I know who's following me, then I can assess your needs and I can tailor, and I said that in many of my workshops, then I can tailor my lessons and my information that I share on exactly what you need. How many people do you know are doing that? How many people do you know are doing that? And I'm not coming to you as though I want to stand out from the crowd. I stand out from the crowd regardless. My reputation precedes me. And that's not being cocky. That's not being condescending. But I feel like I need to say it to you. I feel like I need to invite you. I feel like some of you you're waiting on a special invite. This is the special invite. I'm inviting you in particular, to join me on this platform if you If you are in the entertainment industry and you are still starving, I'm inviting you to join me here. I'm even inviting you if you are thriving and yet you don't have control of your IP. We saw the situation that happened with Nick Cannon. You would consider him successful. How he is not successful, and this is not to degrade his intended legacy. And I'm glad that they have evidently worked that situation out. I don't know the details because I'm not front and center with that. I don't know the details. I do wish him the best. It is highly unfortunate that he would be basically blacklisted and that they would use this contractual flaw to their advantage. But who's to blame is Nick. You all call it securing the bag. He should have made sure that these things were secure into the perpetuity of his vision. And I am the coach that teaches you that from the beginning, where you don't have to stumble unnecessarily. Please understand this. This is something that I learned from my mom and from my dad. There is no law that says that you have to make all these mistakes in life. There's no law that says you must make 20 mistakes before you're successful. But yet you all keep believing that from other coaches. Why would you want to give your money to a coach who is telling you that you must make 20 mistakes before you become successful? If I'm a good coach, then I'm going to be able to set you up so that you will circumspectively look out for all of the possible mistakes. Now, it's inevitable. Yes, we will make mistakes, but I should limit that for anyone for whom I am a coach. But if your coach is just telling you, we all have to go through this process. We do. You must build fortitude. And in order to build fortitude, I must put you through a hazing. No, that's going to come regardless. Trust. You receiving help, guidance, effective help and effective guidance from someone is not going to be a crutch. Because it will be inevitable that you will still have steps that you must go through. The track star, because the coach can't run the race for the track star. But the coach can tell the track star, teach the track star good nutritional habits. So they won't make the mistake of having unnecessary muscular injuries due to their poor nutrition. You see, you can't work out and have poor nutrition and then expect your body to perform a certain way. Coach can't run the race. I can be your business. It's a little bit harder to do the translation for a business. But I can't run your race. So I can run your business, but I will not run your business. But I can teach you how to do so successfully. So there will be a question and answer workshop. That's it. There won't be anything else. It's question and answer. And it will be called 6 Minutes with Queen Get Her Done. 6 minutes. 6 minutes. 6 minutes, Queen Get Her Done. All right? And it will be a 2-hour session. The classes or the workshops, enrollment will be limited to 15 per session. I've done the math. So since we have the 120 minutes in a 2-hour period, it calculates to be 6 minutes that I can spend on questions per person. And oftentimes, if I'm worth my weight in gold, I won't need 6 minutes to answer your questions. And look at the beauty of that. Then you get all of your questions answered. I'll be able to, and it will be over time because, of course, the only limitations for us are time and the fact that we have 15 people in there. And so I'm going to put in the cost of it, a guarantee. So the cost will be $50. The guarantee will be that I will answer thoroughly, completely. So there will be no, and I shall answer. Legal contract right there. I shall answer your question thoroughly to the best of my knowledge. So if you're asking questions that are on topic to what I do, and that's why I invite you to go visit me at queengetterdone.com so you'll know exactly what does she do. So these are the things that are her expertise. So I have experiential knowledge because I've run several businesses, and several meaning more than 5, and successfully so. And I have the academia to boot. Okay? All right, so, and it's at the doctoral level. So you all keep wanting to take all these master classes. And I had posted a advertisement last year, and I don't know if people were like, well, maybe she's just being cocky. I don't want to deal with her because she's cocky. No, it's not cocky for me to make a statement a fact. Why would you want to learn under a master when you can learn under a doctor? Oop. Now, in truth, I have not completed my PhD, but I am a PhD candidate, which means that my peers have tested me and they have decided based on that test that I perform at the expert level. Ooh. Okay. So with all that said, why then would you shy away? It doesn't help me. Wouldn't you consider that if I had an ego problem, the ego problem would exist whether you follow me or not, right? The ego problem would exist whether you become a client of mine or not, whether you attend my sessions or not, right? I've shown enough about myself that I am not detached from reality. You can trust that I am not detached from reality. If I were detached from reality, I would not be sitting here without being beat to the gods, right? In my humble 2-bedroom apartment, right? And some of you are going to be like, well, she's in a 2-bedroom and such is in a house. Oh, I invite you to please come on over. Please come over. Because you see, I'm living better than a lot of people that I know that have these big houses. You see, they're slave to their houses. They're slave to the credit that helped them get the house. And I mean the credit cards, not just the credit score, if you will. And their credit score is hanging on by a thread. And it's because they have installment payments. You see, I have no installment payments because I don't have traditional debt. I have student loans, but I consider that a return on investment. And it shall be a return on investment because of the way that I budget. So let's say I have $150,000 in student loans, right? My career, and I chose a career that was not over inundated, which is something that you should consider when deciding upon a career, because over inundated labor markets are obviously hard to enter. Why set yourself up for that type of obstacle in the first place, unless you have express knowledge on how to stand out in an over inundated market. My market is near, like, it's near expansively open. So the career salaries that are the average for what I intend to do once I finish, they average $70,000 initially. But of course, with my education, it could be upwards to 120,000. And that's in the first year. Now, I have often lived off of $30,000 to $40,000 each year. In the last couple of years prior to the pandemic, it's been $40,000 to $45,000 a year. And so if I were to make $120,000 and I live well, I mean exceptionally well, because some people think I'm rich and I'm not, exceptionally well with $45,000. And that's having every type of insurance, life insurance, health insurance, dental, vision, car for both of my rovers. I left out one, life, even specifically accidental and whole life. I know I'm forgetting one. Oh goodness. Having my own health savings account, having my investment account. Okay. So I'm not an aggressive investor. So that's not me, but I'm an aggressive budgeter. Okay. Now with everything going on, I can't save as much because some of you know about my medical expenses for my son, but that's okay because we're all right. We're all right. And he's worth it. But the point I'm making here is that if I can do all those things, so I've got everything is taken care of under that $45,000. So that means anything above what I currently make would be exceptionally extra. So why wouldn't I take that $80,000 each year for 2 years and pay off my debt? I'm done. That was a return on investment. I don't have a 30-year mortgage. I don't want one. I don't want anybody holding anything over me for 30 years. I don't want to make a $500 payment to Land Rover when I can go to an auction and buy two. Two for under $6,000. Ooh. These are the points that I'm making to you. And this right now is just completely like, boom. This is like, boom, I love you. Here, take that. Take that, take that. I'm not sitting around just talking about, yes, relationships are important, but you're over inundated with that. And then you get into these relationships and both of you really are not financially set. You're trying to build together and you're doing it the hard way. You're beating your head up against a wall and then you're going to church and you're saying, okay, we're going to pray our way through this. And this is another thing. Now, I will tell you, if there's any secret to any of my methodology, and I tell you all the time, there's no secret. There's no sauce. It's a front. It's a front to keep you, doe-eyed at individuals who have a lot of money, who have this show of success, the appearance of success. But there is no sauce. There is no secret. But let's say there were. It would be this. I was thinking about it earlier. I was watching interview with, and the person being interviewed was Neil deGrasse Tyson. And some of you know that is my absolute favorite scientist. And he was talking about his father. And his father evidently, dealt with discrimination. And his teacher told him that he couldn't be, an apt athlete. And so his father wasn't raised with the mentality that if someone tells you that you can't, then you're just supposed to, kind of lick your wounds and, go away and accept that. especially someone who tells you that you know is racist and has hate in their heart for you, unfoundedly, right? Well, his father took that as motivation and said, okay, well, you know what? No one's going to tell me what I cannot do. And he took up running, and he became world class. He became one of the fastest runners in the world, not just in his immediate microcosm. And I thought about that, and I was like, and then he also talked about how he was not raised to find his purpose and find meaning in life. He was raised to create meaning in life. And immediately a light went off, and I was like, well, you know what? If there is anything to this, this methodology, this, well, she seems to always have it together. Well, I was raised by someone who every time there was an obstacle, both of my parents, anytime I talked to them and there was an obstacle or a problem that I brought to them to get their love, their wisdom, their admonishment, whatever, I needed help, they would look at me and say, well, what are you going to do? Boom. I remember that when there's a very specific situation I remember when I was 8 years old. And my dad, very specifically, I brought to him, we were playing tennis, and I remember the neighborhood friends were telling me that, well, you're not going to be able to play tennis. You can't play very well. Now, I didn't want to play tennis, so that was not the goal. But the lesson was this instead. So, because you're also not going to passive aggressively manipulate me into an arena for which I have no interest. Because sometimes we do that as well. So don't ever allow anyone, like if they're like, well, you'll never be a great singer. Well, maybe you don't want to be a singer. Maybe you're just enjoying it. Maybe you're just playing around. Maybe this is just for fun. Maybe you have no intentions, much like, not trying to be funny, much like Lil Nas. When they were telling him, well, you can't rap, you can't do this, you're not making real stuff. He made a fool out of them. He's not trying, I think he said it several times, he's not trying to be Whitney Houston. He's not trying to be Nas. He's trying to be Little Nas himself. So he's in his own class. He's in his own arena. He doesn't need to, I think he's in that commercial, Defy Logic. He's defying logic. I don't have to fit into your box. That's what I learned on that day. When I brought it back to my dad said, well, because I said, well, they said I can. And he said, well, you can. And he just stopped, and I said, okay. Because his intonation was that there was more to that sentence. It wasn't just like you can in response to them saying I can. And I was like, what do you mean, Dad? What can I do? What do you mean you can? He says, you can fill in the blank. So having him say that, and me loving my dad and loving my mom, and then having my mom like, well, what you gonna do? You gonna cry? You gonna cry about it? What you gonna do about it? I'm trying to get myself together because I'm sitting in here with this king and queen. I'm trying to figure out my whole life, And this is not to say that they don't make mistakes and didn't make mistakes in their life. We shouldn't value someone, set their worth on just their mistakes. We should do it on their sum total, okay? And because some of you know that my dad was homeless after he got out of the service, and there were some things that happened, and I've discussed it before. We won't discuss this now. He definitely succumbed to a lot of the same things that other veterans do, and he did, and it was unfortunate. But he was great. Great football player, great academic, great artist, great father, great husband, and then alcohol took all that away. And he did try many times to recover, and he did successfully, but he ultimately passed away of his epilepsy. So that's my transparent moment to make sure that you don't just see perfection in Tigress. I don't want I don't want anyone to ever believe that somehow I am the product of perfection. I am the product of perseverance and fortitude. And yeah, this happened to me. So what? Which is what you tell yourself. Yep, your feelings are valid. Have those feelings. Have that party. Sometimes you do need to have your own little pity party. Have that quick, but it needs to be quick, and you need to get over it. Okay, boom. Let's go forward. And not so much as get over it to the point where, again, you're fueling these toxic coping mechanisms. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about when you're talking to yourself and you're saying, how do I move forward now? And you don't wait until you get over it. It's a process. So you need to start the process while you're getting over it and move forward. You need to always move forward in the process. I don't care if the step is minimal. Make the minimal step forward, and you will notice how very quickly then you will be able to continue to propel yourself. And then each time you deal with a problem, your calibration will be so well set that you will be able to immediately move forward. That's what I'm the product of. So much like Neil deGrasse Tyson's father inspired him by, what you gonna create? You create your meaning. What are you looking for a meaning? Create a meaning. Be purposeful. Equally, that type of mentality was taught to me. It's kind of strange because I wasn't really sure what I was going to share this week, and I have archived videos that I can edit and post, but I want to be authentic. And I said, let me do this on Instagram so that I can also kind of pull people over, reach you all as well in both mediums. And here's the last thing, and then we'll move on. I wanted to just show you this. I shared this on my See Tigress Run platform, but not everyone follows me there. So I wanted to show this as well. You're probably wondering, what in the hell is that? Okay, so that's, excuse me. All right, so this is bacteria. And the tail that you see, because I can't move myself. The tail that you see down there, you can't see it on the larger picture because the video frame is covering it. You can see the end of the tail, or it's flagellum. It's like a tail. You can see it below. Types of flagellar arrangement. Why is she showing us this? Okay, so there's a conspiracy theory that it still has life. And why, my goodness, but it still has life. This conspiracy theory is promoting that somehow the COVID-19 virus is not a virus at all, and instead it's bacteria. And that the government has been lying to us about the nature of this pandemic, okay? As it relates to whether it's a bacteria or virus. Okay, so bacteria have motility. Motility is locomotion. Locomotion, you understand that even if you don't know the word, you can, it's self-explanatory in one regard because you have motion. You think of it like a train, so we think movement. Motility is how an organism moves. Okay, very simply. Bacteria, organisms, have motility. Viruses have sessility. Okay, so let me pull up this picture. So sessility, some of you are probably, your minds are going, and that's the whole point. I want to inspire. Okay. I'll leave that up because sessility, 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 means that there is no locomotion. So a virus has no locomotion. Okay, here's another form of motility by an amoebic, right? So this is amoebic motility or amoeboid from an amoeba, right? The types of locomotion used by amoebas. Cytoplasmic movement, kind of like the slug-ish movement. And this is not to equate it with the movement, the locomotion of a slug, because I do not study the slug, and just like I said in my other feed, I know it may seem minuscule to some of you, but it is not. So when I do not know a specific thing, I do not talk myself into the ground on a specific thing. So I am making the comparison just so you have like this, this visualization of the type of movement it would, mimic, if you will. But it may be something very different specifically that I'm not aware for the basis of the slug's slither or the slug's movement, because they may even consider it a slither, right? Okay. And so pretty much that's what I wanted to share with you. You see, let me see, how do I do this? All right, so pretty much that's what I wanted to share with you. You see, if you have motility, then we would be in greater danger. Because the bacteria, and that's what I was explaining to everyone, if it was a bacteria, bigger danger, friends. Because bacteria is intuitive. It may not be cognitive like humans, but it is intuitive. So when it sets out to do a thing, it does a thing. And very intentionally so. Now the genetic code, and this is why there have been questions or still yet debate in the scientific community on whether or not a virus qualifies as a living organism or as alive, if you will. Because you can't kill a virus. Some of you know this. They only use those terms to communicate, to lay people or the general public, right? You can only inactivate a virus, turn off its, kind of like like a robot, if you will. You turn it off, and then it's, it's standing there. Bacteria, you don't actually just turn them off. They continue to proceed upon their purpose in life, their genetic purpose. And we've seen that many times. They have survival skills. Viruses, and there again, where the debate is, especially where there is the mutation of the virus, I think the evolution of the virus is what we have mistaken as the alive component, because it is just different. It is taking on the form of living organisms. I don't believe that, like in its inception, it was just discarded genetic code. But we've seen that if you have a growth, because even cancer is just an abnormal growth in your body. That we've seen that these things can have teeth and hair and eyes and mimic life, right? Okay, I think that that's what's going on with the mutations of viruses. But again, I'm not a virologist, so I cannot speak on that with specificity. But what I can tell you is that the virus has no motility and that it is not intuitive. It is at best autonomous, and that's quite different. It's the difference between maybe a robot and a monkey. So and then cognitive would be us. So you have robot, monkey, us. Robot being autonomous, monkey being intuitive, us being cognitive. We should be very thankful that it's not a bacteria, because that would be apocalyptic. Because they can then move from person to person, attack more strategically, more pointingly. And the crown and the spikes on the crown, that is not motility. That is not a form of, that doesn't help propel it forward or propel it backward. It doesn't help it swim. It only uses that to link on to the part of our body at the cellular level, to drop off its message of destruction, right? All right. So, I know that was a lot in this live, and I know some of y'all are like, wait, but we thought all she was a model. Don't get it twisted. Don't get it twisted. And that's another reason why you should be following me elsewhere and check out my upcoming workshops, because we need to inspire thriving. And we need to show what professionalism can be, because there's a big difference between the minstrelization of African American culture and then thriving upon our talents in our African American culture and claiming our own rights to our own property, being our own cash cows, and not just being the house slave that entertains the masses. There's a difference. And over here is not securing your bag, because I guarantee you the individuals who step and fetch, they are forever put in that arena, in that box. They're typecast for that role every single time. And you've heard these individuals say that. You've heard actresses and actors and singers and comedians, you've heard them say this. That's because they did not call their own shots from the beginning. They did not commoditize their own worth from the beginning. They tried to overtake the commoditization of their talents somewhere in the middle, and it doesn't work, because by that time they're already too wound in to the status quo. So they may get some control, but minimally so, just like you saw with Nick Cannon. So again, I'm hopeful that he came out of whatever their deal is now with greater control, but I can guarantee you that they did not relinquish complete control over Wildin' Out to him. I can guarantee you that, because that's not they would not do that. So please join me over there, Queen Get Her Done. And otherwise, follow me and subscribe to my YouTube channel, which is Tigress is a Verb. And follow me here And stop ghost following me. Just come on to the front rows so we can get some stuff done together and thrive. Have a wonderful Monday.